This video is going to be a step-by-step process on how to change the wax ring in the bottom of your toilet. I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks along the way to make the job easier. So follow along, we'll get this job done.
First thing we need to do is shut off the water. And I do not recommend you shut off this valve here. 99% of the time these quarter turn valves will start to leak after you turn them back on. If they don't leak right away, they will start leaking within about a week. So we'll go down to the basement and find a lever shut-off valve.
Now down here in the basement I found this inline water filter. I'm going to go ahead and shut the water off here. And I know that when I turn the water back on, it's not going to leak. This is a heavy-duty valve. Like I said, those quarter turn valves, those little small valves that are hooked up to sinks and toilets, if they've been on a long time, when you go to turn them back on, they almost always leak. So find a large valve like this. Down the basement, you will shut off more water to the house, but you won't have to worry about a leak. Once the water's shut off, go ahead and remove the lid to the tank. And then you're going to need to flush the toilet about 3 times and get as much water out of this tank as possible. There's going to be about a ½ inch of water left in the bottom of the tank. You need to get that out of there and soak it up with like paper towels or rags, because when we remove the supply line, you don't want water to run out of the tank onto the floor. You will have about a ½ inch of water in the bottom of the tank. You have 2 options to get that out. You can soak it up with paper towels, or you can put a pan underneath your supply, and when you unscrew your supply line, you'll catch the remaining water inside a pan. If you just want to catch the water inside a pan, put a couple of paper towels around it. I've got a small bread pan right there, and that's going to catch the remaining water out of the tank. If you're going to drain out the water through the fill, you're going to have to loosen up the bottom nut on your fill valve and lift up your fill valve. Now you're still going to have about a ½ gallon of water in the bowl, and you can either soak that up with paper towels, or if you have a liquid transfer pump or liquid extractor, you can go ahead and suck the water out into another container. These liquid extractors, or they're also called transfer pumps, come in handy for a wide variety of uses, and I'll put a link in the description for how to buy this on Amazon. And now we need to take these caps off that are covering up the nuts holding the toilet to the floor, and these are most likely a 7/16, and I'm just using a 7/16 gear wrench. And you're going to go ahead and take both sides off. Most of these flanges are going to have a plastic washer. This is basically just holding on the cap. And then they're also going to have a metal washer underneath. Go ahead and remove both of those. And now we're ready to lift the toilet straight up off the flange and the studs. But I suggest you have an area about 4 to 5 feet away prepared to set the toilet. Maybe put down some towels or some rags of where you're going to set the toilet. Also have a roll of paper towels handy, just to sop up any extra water that may come out somewhere in the toilet. So we're going to lift it straight up. And now for the fun part of this job. You're going to clean and scrape all of this old wax off of this flange. I'm using just a metal putty knife. This is a 3-in-1 putty knife. It's actually got a point on it that can help kind of scrape right around the edges. We're going to use paper towels and a putty knife to get this area here as clean as possible, and then clean up around your tile or whatever kind of flooring you have your toilet sitting on. Once your flange and surrounding area is as clean as you can get it, I like to take just a little bit of fine sandpaper and just kind of scuff up the top side of this flange And that's going to get the last little bit of wax residue off. And now, using the same tools, you need to get all the wax off the bottom of your toilet. Now you need to install your new flange bolts, and it should look like this. This plastic is just pretty much a retainer to keep your bolts from sliding around and keeping them straight up. Just simply insert them and slide down the plastic retainer. And now go ahead and take the wax ring out of the box. And it's going to be covered in this black plastic. You're going to remove this black plastic and install this wax ring onto the bottom of your toilet. And the black plastic around the wax ring has cuts in it. It's serrated, so you can just peel this straight up like this and then pull it straight out. Now your new wax ring should be on the bottom of your toilet like that. I just press it a little bit and spin it at the same time, and that will cause it to stick to the bottom of the toilet. Now as you set it down, you want to make sure you line up your bolt holes with the slots. And then just push down and rock a little bit side to side. Now go ahead and install your washers. And if you're using these caps, some of them will have like a flip cap. Install those. And we're going to tighten these nuts down just a little at a time, and you're going to go side to side. You'll tighten this one about one turn, go to the other side, tighten that one turn, and go back and forth. Now you don't want to over tighten these. They should be, just a little bit past hand tight. But if everything is installed correctly, toilet flange height, correct wax ring, then you see how there's a kind of a little cutout right there? The top of this nut should be below that cutout, and then you're going to saw off this remaining thread. I've seen some people just hit the top of these with a hammer and break them off. That's not the correct way to do it. Get yourself a hacksaw and just saw them off. And now that the bolt is sawed down to the correct height, you can replace your caps. And now we need to reinstall that supply line. And now slowly turn the water back on. Don't just go full on. Turn it nice and slow. Go ahead and put your cover back on your tank. And congratulations on changing your own wax ring. You saved yourself a lot of time and money, and you learned a little bit about home improvement as well. I'll put links in the description on all the tools I used. Hope this information was helpful. Thanks for watching.